Hello, and welcome back to the Stop Motion Cup Series Season 1. We are here at Watkins, Glen today for the penultimate race of the regular season. It's our first road course race of the season, actually, with our second one coming in the Charlotte Roval later in the playoffs this year. Could be a good warm-up test to see who will be good then and who won't. But for some drivers today it is more important for points. As we only have 2 more races left until the playoffs, today could make or break your playoff chances. Here are your ones to watch. Matt Kenseth is your pole sitter today. AJ Allmendinger is a road course ringer, well known for winning last year's race at Watkins Glen, his only career win. Kyle Busch is off to a relatively rough start in this year, and Austin Dillon, Casey Kahne, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. are all tied for 16th place in the point standings. As things currently stand, only one of them can make the playoffs. Here are your starting lineup. Row 1, Matt Kenseth and Jimmy Johnson. Row 2, Kurt Busch, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Row 4, Carl Edwards and Casey Kahne. Row 4, Martin Truex Jr. and Kyle Larson. Row 5, Tony Stewart and Kevin Harvick. Row 6, AJ Allmendinger and Brad Keselowski. Row 7, Danica Patrick and David Gilliland. Row 8, Joey Logano and Bobby Labonte. Row 9, Matt DiBenedetto and Kyle Busch. Row 10, David Reagan and Jeb Burton. Row 11, Clint Bowyer, another driver in need of points, and Austin Dillon. Row 12, Michael Annett and David Reagan. Row 13, Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Casey Mears. Row 14, Ryan Blaney and Paul Menard. Row 15, J.J. Yaley and Greg Biffle. Row 16, Trevor Bayne and Jamie McMurray. Row 17, Justin Allgaier and Sam Horrocks Jr., another driver who is pretty good at road courses. Row 18, Ty Dillon and Ryan Newman, Austin 500 winner this year. Row 19, Denny Hamlin and Jeff Gordon. Row 20, Eric Almirola and Regan Smith. Row 21, Cole Witt and Michael McDowell. And row 22, starting last, Landon Castle. Here are your keys to the race. 2 races until the playoffs begin. The first road course race and the shortage race in terms of mileage this season. Drivers are ready to get going. Green flag is out. And we are underway at Watkins Glen. We see now Kurt Busch overdrives the corner. Kurt Busch goes around. Big crash off of turn 1. Caution is out here in the first lap at Watkins Glen. Major pileup involving 8 drivers. So we see Tony Stewart manages to get going again. Red flag is out. Here's your replay of the incident. Looks like Kahne pushed Kurt Busch too deep into the corner. Kurt Busch got into Stenhouse Jr. And from there was underway with a limited amount of space right there going into that little stretch before the next series of turns. There was just nowhere for those drivers to go. So we see Kurt Busch is going to be hauled off of pit road. Martin Truex Jr. Those drivers were both not doing too sporty in points. This could be really rough for them. As well as Casey Kahne and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. here. Kyle Larson. All those drivers needed help to guarantee themselves a spot in the playoffs. They all could be looking at a must-win situation next week at Richmond. As we see Tony Stewart decided to stay out on the track, unlike Kevin Harvick and Kyle Larson. Here's your sponsor today, Dramer. Go check out his channel, link in the description. After a major crash starting on lap 1, will we be able to establish some typical green flag racing here? Green flag is out. Lap 3 of 10. You see already that damage is hindering Tony Stewart's ability to drive his car. Looks like a tire is down on that car. Yes, it is. So the reports we're hearing, he's going to be going down pit road this time. Matt Kenseth manages to maintain the lead. AJ Allmendinger is going to be trying to make a battle up here for that win. We see Tony Stewart going down to pit road, going to get that tire replaced. We have the onboard camera here from Matt Kenseth. Still our leader here over AJ Allmendinger. See now, Jimmy Johnson and Penske teammates right behind those two. Kyle Busch making his way through the field. We have now our split screen segment of today's race. See, oof! Looks like Bobby Labonte's brakes went out and there's something, the caution is out. What exactly happened here? Whatever the case, his car will be messed up, probably done for the day. Let's take a replay of that incident. And it looks like the steering or his brakes, one or the other, just was not working in his car. And all he could do was just go straight into the wall. Luckily for him, that impact was reduced by the tire barriers. Tough break for him, and already backmarker team gonna be having to come up with some new race car parts now, as that one is totaled, or at least the front end is. We have now our highlights of today's race. Lap 1, we had that major crash involving 8 cars in turn 1. Lap 5, we had AJ Allmendinger passing Matt Kenseth for the lead. And around that exact same time on that lap just now, Bobby Labonte, his brakes went out on his car and he went straight into the wall in turn 1. Turn 1 has not been kind to the drivers today. Green flag is out, possibly for the last time here. Lap 7 of 10. Anything could happen. Let's see what goes down. You see Allmendinger still managing to lead this race. Matt Kenseth dropping like a rock. Already in 4th place. Maybe something's wrong with his car. You see Allmendinger coming through to lead the lap. Jimmy Johnson's going to try to make a move on his inside here for the lead. And going through the bus stop, it looks like he got it. But AJ Allmendinger is going to try to take it back here on the final corner. He will to lead another lap here. 2 laps to go here at Watkins Glen. Still a 2-car battle for this lead, Allmendinger and Johnson. So we see drivers like Clint Boyer, Dale Earnhardt Jr. making their first impacts on this race all day in the top 5. Could they be players in these final laps? So we have now the final lap of the race. AJ Allmendinger pushes Jimmy Johnson too far into the corner. It's going to give Allmendinger the lead. Jimmy Johnson is not going to be happy about that. We come now through past the bus stop. As we see now, Jimmy Johnson dumps him. Jimmy Johnson dumps Allmendinger here for the lead. And Jimmy Johnson is going to pull off a bump and run for this lead. Taking the win over his teammate Dale Jr. Just absolutely dumped Allmendinger there. That was probably Allmendinger's final chance to make it to the playoffs this year. So we see Jimmy Johnson celebrating his win here at the Glen. Here's your replay of the finish. As we see here, AJ Allmendinger very well could have done the same thing to Johnson there, but he didn't. He just pushed Jimmy Johnson deep into the corner. It looks like Jimmy Johnson did not appreciate that. He just decided to wreck Allmendinger going into that special corner there. Don't remember what it's called. That's what got Jimmy Johnson the win today. Driver had a rough start of the season now, possibly having the best series of races to close off these regular season. We have your finishing results here. We had 7 DNS in today's race, including Allmendinger on that last lap. Here are your point standings going into the final regular season race. We have 7 drivers locked into the playoffs in points. So you see now Kyle Larson has a lead over Austin Dillon for that final playoff spot with 8 points. It's going to be a close battle between what looks like the top 19 or so drivers with a chance to make it in on points going into the final race. Going to be no holds barred. Anything could happen next week. As we saw this week though, really anything can happen here in the series. You see the last of our point standings. Congratulations to Jimmy Johnson and his sponsors for winning today's race. Hope you guys all enjoyed this race. Hope to see you again next race for the regular season finale at Richmond. If you enjoyed today's race, please support the channel however you can, be it liking this video, commenting on it, subscribing. Whatever you do, I hope you have a great day today. See you next time.